I have another stupid video for you today. So me and Billy just got done recording an episode of the Jump Street podcast where we spoke about if rollerblading has an identity anymore. If you haven't seen it yet or listened to it, go check it out. But in the middle of that, Billy kind of started talking about his mindset or what made him and other people do hammers back in the day in like the mid 2000s. Like people were throwing themselves off roofs, crazy gaps, drop rails, and kind of like why him and other people were doing that. And it really made me think like why we kind of do anything in skating, like what characteristics go into a certain type of skater or what makes you skate a certain way. And I started thinking about all these factors that contribute to this. So I thought the best way to go about doing this was a good old-fashioned Venn diagram. So I have some wrapping paper left over from the holidays, even though it's October. We get my markers together. All right, let's go over this. My handwriting is really bad, so bear with me. But first of all, we're going to go over why. I told you it was bad. So let's break it down into 3 categories. All right, not bad. Now, the first thing that's going to go over here is the cool factor / validation. So we were kind of talking about how we were trying to validate ourselves as a sport by pushing ourselves to the limit and doing these crazy stunts just to be like, hey, this is us. We're out here kind of trying to make a statement. I feel like that does play a part in skating still today. And cool factor, I mean, some people still think skating's cool. My mom still thinks it's cool. But a lot of times when people go skating, sometimes we feel like it's not necessarily just for ourselves, but it's for other people as well. So that's going in this category right here. The next one going here will be the thrill / rush. Some of us are kind of like thrill seekers. I think that if you're an aggressive skater in almost any way, you seek a little bit of thrill depending on how hard you push yourself or how insane the tricks you're trying to do. I've heard a lot of other people who don't skate say that I was like an adrenaline junkie or something. I don't necessarily see it that way. But there is a little bit of that in everyone who aggressive skates. Now this big bottom one here, I'm going to put down creativity. And hey Alexa, what's a word that means to challenge yourself?
Synonyms for challenging include demanding, testing, taxing, exacting, exigent, searching, stretching, exciting, stimulating.
Alexa, stop. I'm just going to put challenging yourself. Now, this is a big part of almost anybody's skating, no matter what aspect of it you do. A lot of skating that we do is an art form, you could say. There's definitely limits that we push. We all want to get better at our craft, at our sport, at our art, whatever it is. And I think that is a major part of why we do this. So I'm going to throw that there on the big one on the bottom. And before we move on, if you want to support me or the channel in any way, and if you like my shirt maybe, my Biggie Smalls Ready to Roll shirt, feel free to check out my online store. I have a link in the description below where you can get this and a bunch of other shirts. I have my Gone Skating trick book notebook right here. That's also available. So be sure to check it out. Now let's start simple. This top one here, I'm going to put core skaters. Cool factor validation and having a thrill rush. This kind of reminds me of like old school style skating, which a lot of us grew up doing. We were hitting a lot of rails, a lot of ledges, a lot of grinds, jumps, stuff like that. And everyone was looking for validation. Everyone was trying to be the cool guy, the cool kid, the cool girl. And part of that was getting that thrill or that rush of doing like a really hard trick, especially in front of your friends. You know, the validation of like your group of peers, your skaters, your friends, all cheering you on and being like, damn, this kid's really good. This person really knows what they're doing. They're like the best in our group. There was a time when everyone strived for that. Some of us still might do that, but that reminds me of the core skaters that most of us grew up being. Over here, I'm going to go with wizard skaters. I feel like wizard skating is still relatively new, so it's still cool to do it. And because it's new, it's all about being creative. It's still such an open book. There's so much untapped skating in wizard skating that this is still such a young subdivision of our sport. And it's all about challenging yourself and seeing where you can take wizard skating. So it's still in a really elementary stage right now. And I think that makes it cool as well as creative. For here, I'm going to go with solo skate park skaters. This is like the skater who on their day off or on the weekend go to the skate park by themselves. They learn a couple of tricks. They stay kind of low key. They'll set the phone up by the shoe, record a few Instagram clips, post it online, and that's all they get out of skating. There's a little bit of a thrill and a rush there because you're still learning how to skate. You might still be trying new tricks, and there is some creativity there as well, I believe, because you're trying to push yourself. But there's no coolness or validation factor in there, really. You're going by yourself. You're not hanging out with anybody. You're not showing off in front of the little kids there at the skate park on their scooters. This is mainly just for yourself to have fun. And now for the big one here, I'm gonna put hammer skater right here in the middle. Embodying all of these things together, the coolness factor, the validation, the thrill and the rush, the creativity and challenging yourself. I think all of that goes together to make what is the hammer skater, or what makes you as a skater want to do a hammer every now and then. There definitely is the coolness and validation factor of making a statement in what you're doing. You're probably going to do a legendary trick that people are going to remember forever. I'm going to actually put legacy there for that. Also, you want to do a trick where people go to a spot or they drive by it and like, damn, Joe Schmo did that at this spot. You'll have that coolness. You'll have that validation from your peers, maybe your family members, your friends, people from other sports as well. That's definitely a huge part of hammer skating. The thrill / rush that you get from doing a hammer is unmatched, and that's like the pinnacle of aggressive skating. The feeling you get before you do a trick when you're really pushing yourself, you're scared of getting hurt, you don't know if you're going to make it out alive, you might end up in the hospital later that day, but you kind of want to push yourself to do it. That is definitely the thrill and rush factor, 100%. You don't get this from skating a P-rail at a skate park. You don't get this from dropping in a mini ramp. You don't get this from wizard skating. You don't get this from recreational skating. This is top tier hammer skating right here. And the challenging yourself factor is huge with a hammer. This is straight up pushing what you as a person, as a skater, are capable of doing in this sport that you have been perfecting and refining over the years. You've done it all already. You hit all the stages. You've beaten your friends at games of skate on ledges. You know how to grind coping on a mini ramp. You know how to hit a down rail already. You've jumped a few sets of stairs, but now it's time to kind of put that all together and do that disaster down rail or jump off a roof to another roof or whatever it may be. This right here is the pinnacle of that. And there are other things I didn't include on this Venn diagram. Maybe we go out skating for social reasons, to hang out with our friends, spend some time with them, get out of the house. Exercise is a big one too. I think these might all kind of fit into this together, but I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to having fun. That's the big takeaway from all this. No matter what kind of skating you do, no matter if you're pushing yourself, doing a hammer, whether you're a core skater, a wizard skater, a slalom skater, you skate by yourself at the skate park, you're always being creative, you're always looking to have fun with friends, you're always looking for a little bit of a thrill or a rush, kind of lighten up your day a little bit. So just remember, next time you see somebody doing a hammer, there's an entire Venn diagram behind it. If there's anything else I missed here, let me know in the comments below. I'm sure there's many other factors of skating that I didn't include in this. This is just off the top of my head, based off the conversation I had with Billy in the last Jump Street episode podcast. But let me know what you think. And if you want to see more stupid videos like this, be sure to subscribe.